Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. My name is Jim Cagnina. I appreciate everybody being here with us this afternoon. We have an awful lot of stuff to talk about. Before we get to the main event, let's take a look at some charts and do a quick edge report. Right now, we have some statistics that are kind of interesting. So, E-mini S&P chart on the screen, 30-minute candle. We have a situation where we have this edge full stat, this gap, right? And this is the regular trading hour close from Friday to the regular trading hour open today. And that's that kind of rectangle. I just kind of showing that rectangle, right? And remember, everything that happened before the opening range, the opening bell, doesn't count. So that's why this gap looks so big. And the stat was pretty simple. It was 42% chance we're not going to get filled. And again, this is not the Globex gap, which is a lot smaller. It was regular trading hours to regular trading hours. And so it was a 42% chance we're not going to get filled. And then a 50 based on a 6-month look back, right? Based on a 6-month look back. And then a 58% chance we would. We filled it almost. We missed it by this much, that much, I should say. That's what Maxwell Smart would say, if you guys are old enough to know who that is. 4 ticks, missed it by 4 ticks. This thing wicked down, turned all the way back around. And right now we're at a 61.8% retracement from high to low. I did an outside fib on this one just to see where we're at. And we have a tight range, 105-point range, high to low. And remember, the ATR today was 213. We didn't even get halfway there. Oh, maybe barely halfway there. Now there's a lot of barelys here on this chart. So nowhere even close though to getting to that ATR today. The remaining statistic is this initial balance breakout, 60 minutes on that. Again, this initial defining initial balance is the first 60 minutes. Single break, 88.46%. Well, we've achieved that for sure. Double break, only 3.85%. Now, why does that matter? Does it look like we're going to have a candle close above the highs? Doesn't look like it, but certainly anything could happen. However, if you're a retracement trader, you might say, aha, we have some areas where we should probably get out if we're going to get short on some kind of retracement. If you're doing some bigger swing trades, those kind of trade ideas, I think, are really helpful with the edgeful.com, spelled with 1 L, stat. Just kind of really, we'll just circle back to a daily chart here real quickly. Yeah, negative delta, negative gamma state. Everybody knows that. We retrace nicely to, again, outside fib, up to that 50% level again. Nice area of long-term resistance is almost 5,500 even. I would start it, well, a little bit less than that, but pretty close to 5,500, which is a round number, which is amazing. Also, that 21 EMA is right there. We're trading north of the 80 EMA, and we have a small candle today. Although, you know, we're up about 1.21%, 66 points from yesterday. But again, compared to the rest of the size of these candles, this is kind of a nothing burger. Not a big movement, maybe a little bit of pause here. Enthusiastic pause, mind you, but maybe a little bit of a pause. Really quickly here, while I have the time, I'm just going to shoot down. We're going to skip over everything. We'll do a recap at the end. We're going to get that 10-year notes on the screen again, just to see where we're at. So this is also kind of interesting. If you think about the consolidation range we've had ever since, you know, the bottom of a rectangle, February 26th, to the top, we've been sideways consolidated in the 10-year notes, right? Which means yields were kind of consolidating also. Then we had that big price dislocation, and then this big sell-off here, and then an overreaction on the sell-off. And today we have a little bit of we have buyers coming back into the longer end of the yield curve for the Treasury complex. And we even see the slow stochastic starting to arch up again as well. We're still south of that 80 EMA, so we're not out of the water yet, but we are above the 50, and we're actually going to close, it looks like, above my area of support, which was resistance for a day, now support again. So all is well with the 10-year notes. All right, having said all that, folks, let's get our main event in here today. Order Flow Labs. We have Leo and Nick in the house. How you guys doing?
I'd prefer to be called Leo Streamer Boy now, going forward.
Yeah, Leo, we've missed you. Where you been, bro? I
Busy,
thought this was
busy.
your next career path.
Well, they call me the Streamer Boy. We're just gonna play into it.
I'm not getting in trouble with human resources on this one.
You guys,
You're staying
everybody
out.
missed it. If you missed it last week, or 2 weeks ago now, maybe it was last Monday, but Leo's gonna change his Twitter handle to NQ Leo Streamer Boy, I think was the winning um chat poll that we had.
Is that the one? We should
Something
we
like
should
that.
poll the chat again.
Yeah, we might have to ask again the new Twitter handle for Leo.
Oh my gosh. All right. Who's are you anybody in a trade yet or no?
I am. I just got into a short,
I did too,
All
but I'm
right.
probably gonna get
and
stopped out here.
Nick is also short, it sounds like.
All right. Well, let's pull them up on the screen, guys. Let's get to it. And good luck, you guys. I'll be sitting here taking notes.
All right, thanks, Jim. What's up, chat? Before we start and before I get stopped out, just give us a like and and a follow and all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys for jumping on. I got into the short basically. It's not a big trade for me, but I'm looking at the day's profile, and if I can condense the chart down because we have so much range, we have a clear distribution up here, and we have a clear distribution down here. And so we've kind of rallied up to the other side of the ledge here, or the not a ledge, the other side of this distribution, the edge of this distribution at 24-hour VWAP. So there's kind of two areas, just from a structural standpoint that, I was just kind of like, oh, let's, put on a short here and see if we don't get a rotation back down to the larger part of this volume distribution down here. Now, the counter to that is there was a pretty large WTF up here or back here. And I think, the chart actually, the intraday chart is pretty bullish from that. Obviously, we've just been grinding higher. So I don't have a ton of confidence that this trade's going to necessarily work out. Looks like I'm pretty close to getting stopped out anyway. That's why I only have what do I have? Like a 13-point stop on this right now. I don't really, it just is kind of a feeler trade. If we got some momentum to the downside, I definitely want to add to this position because I would think if we kind of break back down below the IB low here, we may have some momentum to get us back through to this large distribution. So that's kind of the idea behind the trade, and why I'm, just in a couple contracts. But the counterpoint to that again is like, yeah, we have this pretty large distribution, kind of a spike out of this, assuming that's some type of news thing, and just grinding up. So you can make an argument that I shouldn't be in this trade at all. But there's every two sides to the coin. What do you think about it, Nick?
Yeah, I would much rather be long and be long of that break, whatever you want to call that midday action, kind of post Euro close that we had, where NQ was kind of chopping around a 70-point range and ES even tighter, but we're basically just sitting and chopping around the previous day high. And once we kind of broke to the upside, I mean, I wasn't in front of my desk, but I would have loved to have been long there versus doing what I just did coming on the air, which is trying to short that little poke above the initial balance low for maybe a short back towards that distribution that you were just describing. But look like we both had kind of the similar read or perspective on maybe a possible entry of a reoffer there. But so far, this is looking like a little afternoon grind up. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
hard to
the
get.
reoffer is not reoffering.
It did not.
I want to point out something. This is actually one of my favorite. You don't get this look a lot, and this is totally price action. So all you order flow people, You're just gonna have to deal with me. I'm gonna
Aren't you an
draw
OrderFlow
this.
guy?
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna draw this.
Are you drawing a crayon line right now?
Just chill, Nick. Chill. Okay. When you see this after a huge pop, this like little whatever it's called channel, it's a very peculiar a look because it's like we get this kind of huge rally and then we just kind of just kind of grind higher, and I just got stopped. A lot of times when I see this form, I'll look to kind of short pops up to the top edge and then like take profit as we push into the lower part. And when these things break to the downside, they're actually really great trades. So that is a price action crayon line setup that, you can't ignore it once you kind of know what you're looking for without even having to draw the line. I think I'm going to try this again. I'm just in the 2 lot. So yeah, I look for this when I see this setup and it has to be kind of obvious to me. Oh, that's a counter trade that I'll take quite often. No order flow, just price action and just visualizing that crayon line I drew.
I don't know if I've ever seen you draw a crayon line before on a chart.
Is this Leo or is this Master Wu Panda? You know what? I'll just leave you guessing.
Yeah, little did you know that's another persona of his.
Don't give away my secrets, Nick.
I don't think we need to go into the history of Finchwit right now, but yeah, that might have been the first crayon drawing I've ever seen you make.
Ever. You've never seen me make a crayon drawing, have you?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
I
your
draw
mind blown right now?
randomly, not on short-term charts, on long-term stuff. It's just like sometimes it's stupid and it works. There's clearly something algorithmic about them. So, hey, it makes sense to, I think, to have them every once in a while, but I have never seen you do it, sir. You heard it here first, folks.
Leo gives lessons on crayons.
Seeing an exhaustion print up here.
Stowe, I'm just as uncomfortable as you are. Stowe.
It's Monday. It's choppy. It's kind of messy today, and Leo's drawing crayon lines. So here we are.
And random things are happening. Trendline trader. Oh.
I mean, that might have some legs after what we've just seen here today.
Let's see. What do I want to vote? Streamer boy?
I mean, they're both kind of the polar opposites of you. So I mean, I'm good with either.
Trendline trader is winning right now. Okay. Damn it, I just got stopped again. All right. Well, we're gonna have to wait for a proper setup. These are. I'm not trying to take trades just to lose money.
Financial juice was down. Was there anything that kind of broke that's fueling this move up?
I have no idea. To be honest, I didn't. Since I wasn't here for this, whatever happened here, but I got some DMs about it. I was kind of out at this when we made this push. Left the charts. So I came back, right before we started the show. So I'm looking at this with fresh eyes.
Am I
I
one
saw
good
that
trade
double
of the day?
distribution. I saw this ledge, this edge and 24-hour view up there. So I was like, yeah, it's worth a shot. And the crown thing.
The crayons. Definitely the crayons. No, I got out of the market. I was in the short towards the gap fill and then got frustrated after sitting in the trade for about 30 minutes. Ended up taking like a decent profit on the short when we kind of broke when we break basically previous Friday's high and kind of wrote it down towards 5400s on ES and then did not basically flattened it. And then of course, seconds later, it decides to melt and go fill the gap. But I kind of just time stopped, took profit because I was tired of staring at it and didn't look like we were going to break. So naturally, if you've never seen me trade, when I don't hold a runner and just kind of close a trade in profit, you can expect there's another waterfall or something happening, especially if I'm short. Usually is
The
the
chat saying
perfect
it
trade.
was Waller was pumping the markets.
Waller.
Yeah.
Okay.
We only have 57 likes. That's not acceptable, chat. If you guys want me to be streamer boy, Leo, then you're gonna have to listen to me talk like a streamer.
Yeah, you don't even need to have me go full influencer. Leo's here to do it.
Where's the Nick full influencer mode? We need that
That soundbite? I'm sure
that
they got it
soundbite.
behind the scenes.
Let's see if they got it.
It's just sitting on a stream deck somewhere. Don't make me go full influencer.
There it
is.
is. All right,
There it
so
is.
we just got a little flip in Delta from an order flow perspective. So I'm going to start this small. Again, I want to be aware that like the market is pretty bullish from all that stuff, but we're going to see if we can't get a counter trade in here.
I initially was kind of leaning into the NQ short when ES was struggling to get back above the week open around 54, 52s, but we're just continue to kind of drift a little higher every time. Where was your entry, Leo? Well, I guess you've had like
25.
3
It's
now.
it's a bad entry. I went for the momentum, and I got stuck in the bottom of the candle. Well, the candle I'm using, typical. Reviews audio only. Y'all are tripping. Fair enough.
Yeah, I took another stop out. God, there's the Delta flip too.
Yeah. Oh, we might have a little bit of activity here. There was a response there at 39. Okay. So just a terrible entry, but maybe there's something here. The problem with this is that ES is just kind of like in the middle of its range.
Yeah.
The 24-hour range. So I don't know if we're going to actually get any movement. This morning, we've been doing a stream in OFL on Monday mornings, and Joe, one of our co-founders, was saying that we should have an inside. He was basically saying that, kind of hoping for inside day chop, not inside day, but inside period chop. So like B inside A, C inside B kind of stuff. And I think we're gonna have to vote him out of OFL for saying that. But you know what?
Came true?
He was wrong.
Was he?
Well, I mean, I don't know. We broke IB low and kind of trended a little bit.
But you said B. I mean, weren't we B inside A? If I'm looking at
Oh,
this.
he was like hoping for like C inside B,
Oh, okay. So like
B
a true
inside.
inside day.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, it's funny. I took a
15
couple stop outs
points.
trying to long near the bottom of initial balance, like that first break of it.
Yeah,
It
right.
just kept drifting lower and lower, and I kept waiting to see if buyers would come in, and we didn't. Then it was just, okay, I'm done. Short this for the gap fill, I guess.
Let's see. I'm not going to be a D for a T. Maybe it's too late. Hmm. Buyers are hitting the tape in ES pretty hard. And we get the flip. Let's see if we get a quick rotation down. Maybe I can get 20 points off for 2 lots.
Shreddy Heart has created a song for your new Twitter handle, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put that. Can we like AI generate that into a real song?
We definitely could.
Let me turn on pullback here. So let's see. Let's see.
We're just hugging the Globex VWAP for right now.
If I was paying attention there on this,
You would have covered.
I would have covered some, to be honest.
Isn't being a streamer boy fun? Get
Mm,
distracted for 3 seconds, miss your take profit.
yeah.
The amount of times I've done that, Leo, after streaming for almost 2 years now, like it's kind of crazy how the slightest distraction can suddenly turn a profitable trade into a stop out. See if you get another attempt back
I
towards
mean,
that.
I kind of liked what you know,
I think you're
every time we push up, it's been reoffered. So, wow, it's a split. Nick, they say Streamer Boy is 50% and Trendline Trader Leo is 49.
we need more votes.
Yeah. And do you know what else we need?
We need more likes.
That's right.
So I'm gonna do it. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you have not already. The NinjaTrader team is putting out great content here on YouTube every single day. So show your support, hit that like button, and hit subscribe if you have not already.
Anthony, we don't need the chat telling us what you said, okay? I smashed like and fading Leo, okay?
It's kind of a coin flip right now, to be honest. I mean, yeah, he's been stopped out the same trade twice already, but still not dead for some reason. Like buyers aren't doing anything to really shake me out of the idea yet. You kind of need that FU candle that just punches it 30 points higher.
All right, so let's try this. He trades OrderFlow, but his handle is Trendline Trader. What does that make him?
Wait.
Score. Did I do that right? I don't know. He's a 10.
Confused what you're
He's
asking.
a 10, but he trades trend lines.
Oh, you were making a he's a 10, but he draws cran lines on a chart.
Trend flow trader, maybe. All right. Yeah, it's just, you know what? This is one of those trades where you're just like, you want to say things that are inappropriate for YouTube. Well, Nick, do you have any topics of discussion while we watch a dead market? And I'm hoping when I say dead market, the market then becomes undead. See some sellers on the tape here.
Yeah, it is Easter week. What are you cooking on Sunday?
Funny you should say that. I'm gonna take one, just whatever. Somebody very, very kind sent me a brisket from Snake River Farms. So that will be maybe I can do the anatomy of a proper smoked brisket
On your new YouTube channel?
on the Streamer Boy channel.
Perfect.
I'll do, like I do threads on Twitter, like, educational topics on OrderFlow, right?
Mhm.
Maybe I'll do a thread on cooking a brisket.
I mean, then you might screw up with the algo a little bit, and it might go from
See, that's
FinTwit to you might
brisket
get
twit.
deep into barbecue Twitter, and you might anger the wrong people. I don't know. That's a bold
People
idea.
don't. That's the weird thing is that people do not. If I post anything other than trading stuff, people just hate me. They don't even like. They don't even comment. They just don't engage.
You're allowed to have perspective on the outside world. Another thing
Apparently
outside of
not.
just
Apparently
the
not,
markets
Nick.
and trading, especially because you are really just trading. So God knows if you threw a macro tweet out there, I think people might freak out too.
Oh, I do that from time to time, and people love that.
Got to diversify like Stowe with his bread tweets.
Stowe, what type of engagement are you getting on your bread tweets?
Yeah. Is there
They're
a
pretty
bread
good?
Twitter? That's the next question.
Is there a bread Twitter? I like this. Every time we're pushing up here, we're getting some selling. So I'm gonna hold this. I mean, I took one off just because it was just like, man, whatever. I love this trade. But how can we get the OrderFlow Labs hat?
It's been a lot of
TBD.
requests, Leo.
I know. I actually did put in a request to get more of them, but I haven't heard back from the company. They're fantastic. They're made in America. They last forever.
Which ones are there?
The one that I sent you.
Yeah, I've got it. I can't remember what brand it is off the top of my head. I wear a lot of hats.
I'm not sure if we're allowed to speak brands.
Oh,
Could I talk about POSA a little bit? Yeah. So I'm actually I'm using POSA right now, whether you realize it or not. The idea of POSA is that the P stands for you put on an initial risk. That size for your initial risk could be determined by several things. I tend to have grade setups like A plus, B. I always try to stay out of C setups, but there are times where your initial size might be half your standard full size, or might be 20%. It might be just a fewer trade. So P is just put on risk, and that may be just to get you involved. It may be, a feeler trade just to get you, engaged with the market at the level area of interest that you want to be, trading in. Sometimes you'll have trades where it's a very clear setup or area of interest that you want to position on, but we get there and you don't necessarily have like a proper signal. I hate the word signal, but I'll just use that word. And so it's essentially just putting on a piece of the trade. And then you wait for not confirmation, but you observe and respond. So that's the O. So put on the position that engages you with the market. When I have a position on, I'm very much more engaged with what's happening versus when I'm just watching as a spectator. And so put on risk, observe is just watch. You're not doing anything else. You don't have any intent necessarily, but you're observing, the order flow from how I trade and seeing, are you getting some of that actionable data that you'd be looking for? Or is there a response, right? And so then if there's a response, then you want to scale into that trade, right? And so that could be, when you start off with 20% and you start to see some of the activity that, looks great for you, then you go to 70%. And then when it really starts to work, you go full size. Or that could also be, and this is a bit of a trickier scenario. I don't necessarily recommend it for newer people, but it could also be, hey, you got into that full size trade and, things just aren't moving like a time-based thing, or, that activity you were seeing is no longer there and the market's not going in the direction you want it to go. And so maybe you scale down, kind of like a scratch, but you're not taking off the entire position. And so it's really a flexible way for you to manage a position or a trade idea without necessarily being full size on the initial entry, or full size when you think, hey, you might be wrong. Now, the trick in that is if you're full size and you get out of that position or get out part of that position and it ends up working, then obviously you've missed out on a great trade and you're not in the full size position. And so you have to consider, is your judgment in real time better than the trade when you put it on? So kind of like a better way to say that is you put on the initial risk and you add it to the position because you saw activity that supported your trade. And then for whatever reason, you scaled down, out of the position because you were maybe you could act emotional about it, or you saw something that kind of triggered something for you to get out, and it wasn't necessary. So I think you have to be honest with yourself about, can you trade in that type of way responsibly? And if you can't, then I wouldn't recommend, following that type of process. So it's, POSA is it's an acronym that a friend of mine and I came up with to really structure how we put on a trade, scale out, scale in such a way that we were comfortable interacting, on a consistent basis, kind of like a way for us to have flexibility, but never really take a full stop in a position, and then have the, not permission, but have a structured way to get size onto a position as well. So I know that was a long answer, so I'm sorry. Sometimes it's easier to, no, I got stopped out. Sometimes it's easier to see price action with one contract on. Yeah, I agree. I think it's easier to see. It's easier to get a sense for what's happening when you have risk, because you have to pay attention. Can you say that all again? No. Here's what you can do, Fatfish. You can go to Spotify and you can search Painting the Tape. And everything I just described was talked about for an hour on the first episode. Or maybe the second. I don't remember. That's what I should have said. Who baited me into that long question anyway? I was sorry about that.
Somebody did.
Da-dee-da. So we are being blessed with, let's see it, from 03s to 38s. So 30-point range. Love that.
I mean, after the last maybe 8 trading days, this is sad.
I'm gonna refresh. Nick, do you have a screen share?
Yeah, I can share mine
Let's
now.
flip to Nick's charts. I'm gonna switch over or something on this. The best thing you can do when you're a streamer boy is make a change to your chart right before you get on stream. It's guaranteed to break something. See, you got the anchored view up and everything.
Yeah, this is your execution one. Didn't you have that?
I switched. I've been using the one Elias sent.
I was playing around with stoves, but then we were having issues and I got this to load earlier today. And so I was like, I'm not touching anything because it's working and it's been working all afternoon. So we are good to go. Something about this, I just want to be long. I've been saying that since we came on air.
The way I see it, you have to be wrong to get a fill, even if it's temporary. Yeah, I mean, you're fading. Somebody's fading you when you take a trade, no matter what. I shouldn't say it that way. There's another a counter trade is being taken on every trade being put in. Being wrong to start with one contract and scale in is better. That is what's worked for me. And I know that's also worked for a lot of other people that I interact with.
It's something that's helped me the last, I don't know, probably 5 sessions. Has been just
I
trying
mean,
to do
it's
that a little
definitely,
more
yeah, it's
versus going. I mean, it's been
yeah,
impossible to go full clip and not get stopped
right,
out
right.
for large amounts of money. Given how, I mean, I know we're trading in a 30-point range roughly right now, but that was basically 30-second candles yesterday or Friday. Like we were moving 30, 40 points on NQ in 30 seconds. So it's hard not to scale into positions when it's moving like that. But even doing it on MES last week was pretty profitable. So there's definitely something to it.
Yeah, you
Especially-
said you had to like overcome some insecurity trading MES.
No, but didn't you say you were trading ES? You were going to trade ES, I
Whoa.
believe on Wednesday. You said it when Stowe and
You
I were
can't
on.
say you can't do this, Nick. You
You
can't
did.
bring up.
And here we are. This is the power hour we get the next time you are on stream. So, did you trade ES Thursday or Friday?
No, I did not. Nope.
Okay. Okay. We'll leave it there. But you made the claim that you were going to do it, possibly signaling the end of volatility as we know it. VIX is probably going to 8, and it's probably your fault. You put
I
it
don't
out
even
there in the
have
universe.
words. Do you know what? Nick, next time we get on, not Wednesday, because I don't have time, but on Monday next week,
Mm-hmm.
we're trading ES.
Fine. I gotta get a new chart put going anyway, so I gotta build it for ES too.
And I'm not going to send you mine this time. You're on your own.
That's fine.
So you're gonna have to eat it.
Are you gonna trade MES or are you gonna trade the big boy contract?
I'll trade the micros. We'll just put 30 lots on. Just kidding. I'm not doing that.
It's a lot of buttons. I did trade ES this morning. I did not trade MES. It wasn't moving the same way. I felt comfortable scaling into minis.
So Jim said we have a 4% chance of hitting the IB high.
Yeah, I can see it.
4%. And I don't know. Do we want to poll the chat on that? Is that
I
gonna
think we
happen?
can do it.
Nick thinks we can do it.
Oh, on ES. Yeah, NQ seems like that's pretty daunting now that I look at it. On ES, I could see it. It's only 20
Okay.
points higher.
Yes. Will we tag the IB high before the close? Yes or no?
I'm sure there's your favorite G word activity a little bit higher too.
The G line. We're above that on
No,
the ES.
the other G word
Oh,
that shall not be spoken except by Jim, because Jim gives us those levels too.
I know what you're about to say. NinjaTrader, you should specify ES, not NQ. Nick was very specific. I'm just going to select yes.
I was saying yes, and my logic was on yes. I think NQ getting back up to 250s would be pretty nutty. I mean, I don't count it out.
Crudele says, I have a 4% chance of wearing 32-inch waist jeans by his birthday in July.
What
Have you tried Ozempic? Go carnivore. Oh, do you have a video on how to get the layout you have? Yes, in OrderFlow Labs, there are these chart books are shared. This is but I mean, you don't need OFL to get a volume profile or a VWAP or some of that stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that's been custom developed for our traders.
Yeah, still going.
I mean, it's marching up there.
Like I said, I can see it in ES. NQ, that would be pretty absurd.
This is my most feared moment as a streamer boy, is getting on Power Hour and just walking into a slow grind into the close, because I'm just not going to have a trade to take.
This is, yeah, and this is part of the reason I would say I'm not great at trading this time of day as it is, and why I stay away most of the time is you get a lot of these just kind of drift upwards, passive buying, whatever you want to call it, towards the end of the day. And I just usually, it's a good way for me to just get chopped up when we're consolidating or the range tightens a little bit and just kind of shifts upwards and there's not really any short opportunities. And if I don't catch an early long, I just end up trying to short it. Psychologically, there's something wrong with me for continuing to do that after years and years of being stopped out in the same situation like this. But now I just think,
Shy Girl has gone full macro on us. Trump on auto parts was huge, she said. So that has big implications
there you go.
for the she said that you have no idea what a cluster auto parts would have been. Come and tell us. Come and tell us about that. In North America. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm gonna need to buy a new car soon. I'm not looking forward to it with everything going
Hey,
on.
Shab, if you want to push the streamer boy thing, I'm just gonna, we're just gonna run with it.
He is a streamer boy.
There's gonna be tariffs on the IBI. That's a proper trader joke.
Leo, did the opening range mid work today? I didn't look.
We never got a proper retest of it in NQ, but ES did, and hilariously, I was long into it in NQ when ES tested it,
Oh yeah.
and it was brought up on our morning stream, and I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't take it because this morning's push was kind of like a failure to take out the overnight low, and we're going right back. We created like a distribution, and we're going back up through, up to the OR. I was kind of expecting a pass through, and boy, did I was completely wrong on that.
Yeah, it was pretty clean on ES, you're right. Some absorption and exhaustion, and then a nice little delta flip and move back down. I didn't even see it. Here we go. We are 20 points exactly away from the IB high on ES. With 45 minutes to go.
Lots of requests for OFL merch. I mean, the problem with the merch is that, okay, so we tried to do it with a company where you just go check out like on their site. It was actually integrated on our website, and the quality was just horrendous. And so I mean, we're not about bad quality. So we stopped that, and then I got these hats maybe like a year or 2 years ago. And it's a process because, they don't have a site where they'll warehouse it and, put like ship orders out. So that means I became the shipper. And boy, did I get Nick, how long did it take me to ship that hat to you?
Longer than it took me to mail Stowe my Series 3 book that he asked about after I passed it in December. And it's
Correct.
now April. Stowe has the book now, but it took me a full quarter to get it to him.
Correct. Try bunker branding. Let me note that down. Okay, I'll try that. Take a look.
Still marching higher.
Like to avoid the tariffs, shipper boy. Shab, you're gonna have to pick one thing to be, okay? I can't be a streamer boy. I can't be a trendline trader. I can't be a shipper boy. Like you're gonna have to pick. To avoid the hats are American made.
Yeah, no
I'm
tariffs.
shorting. I'm gonna try a short here. Maybe if you want to flip back to my screen, we can talk about it.
I'm now on team IB high, so I hope you get stopped out.
Okay, fair enough. So what we have is like this grind, that the death grind, just just walking up, and then we added this flip action right here. This was kind of instinctual for me to take this short, because of how strong the reaction was. So I know this is a counter trade to the day's rally. So I'm just going to take it as a counter trade. And I'm going to take 2 for 20 right there and see what we get here. I think my chart is a little bit broken because I'm not sure what this gray line is. That'd be great if I knew what that was. But this was a really good example of just waiting. I'm not looking for a short in this scenario. We're just chatting, right? I'm literally just watching this thing grind, and I see just a incredible reaction right here at this high, and immediately all this buying went from straight selling. When it's bright pink like this on this candle, when we go from bright blue to bright pink, that tells me that the buying went from what happened on the tape went from extreme amount of buying, just like nonstop buying, to basically the complete opposite. So that's a quick reactionary thing that that I will take 10 times out of 10 when I see that. I might just go ahead and
Trying to get long at 43s.
cover, get down to 1, and then just like this. I don't need to really give this much room because it's counter. So if we come back up to this and stop me out, that's fine. I got enough out of it. Thank you for the nice trade comment. Tariff scalper. Boy. Fair value hats. That's new. Everyone is going to try to get on that trend. I wouldn't short it. Well, I think with a well-defined reason to get into this trade, and understanding that it is counter to the trend, and being disciplined to take what you're getting, where earlier I was trying to hold out for a little more than my standard 20 to 25 points. I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world. You have to understand that if you're trading counter to the trend, that you're not going to get 30, 40 point moves. Maybe it's a 20 point move or a 15 point move. It was headline driven. Okay. Well, it shows up in the order flow, right? What do you use to define intraday trend? I mean, well, I use single prints from the TPO from a market profile. But when I look at, just, hey, here's 2 hours ago, and here we've gone straight up. For me, that's just like a mini intraday trend. So we don't have a trend day, right? But we have a little mini intraday trend, just a grind. So it's nothing There's no science behind this besides just going, okay, we have a low from, back here. And ever since that low was made, every dip's been bought. And then the worst part about this move is this grind where it's just like very difficult to get on that move. Hopefully that was a good enough explanation. Nick,
don't
did you
use
say you got
geometry?
long?
I was trying to get long at 43s and it popped like that 30 points
Okay, nice.
before I could. So I was kind of watching that old little low that we kind of made there, but now I'm a little shaky to try to long it. I still might. But you don't measure you don't use geometry to measure like the slope of an EMA or something to gauge trend?
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Hey, somebody said, Nick, nice to see you compared to the other TV.
I'm just here creating content for all you good folks out there. More things to come.
Okay, more to come?
More to come.
Can we announce it?
I have no idea.
Shad, can we announce it? Do we have permission? I'm making Shad nervous. She's probably going to text me right now. Nope. No text. We'll see. She may not even be listening. Let's do a poll. Okay. Let's do a poll. Do a poll. Should we announce Nick's
I don't know
news?
if that's the
Do
poll
the people want it? Do the people want to hear the news? There's news. Nick has news that people should vote on whether they want to hear the Nick's news.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Poll, yes or yes?
Well, I had a chance to long that again. And I didn't take it.
I have a question for the chat. After this, I want to ask the chat. Okay. I'm just going to sit in this trade. I don't want to get out of it.
You have a good entry.
Yeah, it's good enough to sit in. $300 likes and we break the news. Chat, you guys have to
There's
tell your friends.
450 people in here.
Tell your friends. We have to double the amount of likes. Leave and come back as somebody else.
Leaving. Someone just took their like away.
Someone just took the like away. Bertram's going to make 10 accounts. All right. Is the chat, can we rely on the chat? Do we have power? Does the chat have the power? Fat Fish says no, we don't have the power.
I mean, we might not.
Where can this go?
Keep things tight-lipped.
It's a pretty good looking wick on this 30-minute. Interesting. So I think, let's see. If I can draw a line, extended horizontal line. What I would like to see for this, for like an ad, we've established basically a little bit of a high breakout, right? And retest here. Let's retesting this little high right here. This is like mini, structure kind of. But if we broke this with some force, I would add to this short. Oh man, the chat is mixed today. Everything is 50-50.
I mean, that's 59.40, sir.
You, you know, it's just like a guy like you, Nick, that's all about the gammas to say that.
Well, I hate to also burst your bubble, but I am getting I know I believe you are delta mapping MNQ, but I am seeing a positive delta flip that may be getting stuffed. So maybe not. Maybe you'll be okay.
I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna wait for this to break 40s, and then we're gonna try to jam it and watch it get jammed in my face. Should Nick make a special announcement? I'm voting yes. We didn't get 300. We haven't gotten 300 likes yet, though.
Yeah, we're at 205.
Okay, everybody, there's 400 people. All you need to do is just like it. There's 400.
Mr.
I don't get
Algo,
it.
what is the upvote absorption at 205? That's fun.
Who's offering 206? Somebody's sitting on the 206 offer.
Yep.
All right, let's watch and see if this breaks down. Let me put that horizontal line back on here.
Don't do it.
Oh, we got it. I got to add.
All right, I'm trying along here. I'm going to fade Leo's ad.
Ooh, spicy.
Hashtag fade your friends.
Friendly fire, I guess. Now I'm moving my stop. Now I'm going to move my stop. Basically, see this little distribution here? Right at the upper part of that. ES is going back to POC, point of control. That's where it's going. It's going to pull NQ with it.
I'm not feeling great about this. Let's see. Oh, maybe.
Buyers are just, there's Nick's long.
Three minutes or 2.5 minutes till end period. Where's NQ's weekly open? Wow. 220s.
They came in, touched my entry, and I'm kind of considering just getting out.
Watch Leo next swap liquidity on NT Live. That's funny. Come on, give us a push. Or cliff for Leo. Just for the love of God, stop chopping in a 20-point range.
So we're in the tape here.
So buyers absorb them again here at the 40s. Ideally, I would like to have my stop lower than this, but I don't love 40 points of risk to get it back down, or 30 points rather, back towards 900s or 19,000s. And on the turn,
Oh, 230
still
turn.
nothing. Where do you have NQ's point of control?
Right up here.
Okay. Make sure I wasn't
It
crazy.
moved. Where's your stop?
20.
Okay.
I would like it lower, but I think that's like way too much risk because you could easily go down to IB low again.
I'm not declaring anything yet, but damn, every time they push it down, it's just like, boom. The buyers are showing up. You can see it on the leg-to-leg profile, that little LVN right in the 28s.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Bye-bye, Nick.
They're gonna break this.
Night-night.
See, this is a short where I feel like every time I've tried to short in this similar situation, I'm gonna get stopped. But here we go.
Good
I
night.
take the opposite to try to just go with the trend very late, and I'm probably gonna get stopped.
In all seriousness, I'm going to scale out of some of this. Just because we're at a point where it's either going to break or basically come right back to my entry. And I've had to watch that happen several times. So
I'm gonna get stopped. There it is.
bye-bye, Nick. You got stopped. I'm going to cover a little bit there. That's what AJ and I play that game.
That's what friends do.
If we find ourselves on the other side of a trade, I just wait for AJ to get stopped out, and that's where I take profit. Uh, 83% said that Nick should make your special announcement.
But we only have 227 likes. Someone else just took their like away. It was at 28.
And I'm just curious who voted no.
Yeah, who are you people?
Nick just became Leo's exit liquidity.
It's fair.
Amen. Amen.
And right back to manager.
Geez, these buyers are just stubborn.
What's the low on that? Oh, okay, 15. So,
all right. So, kind of to summarize, we started up here. We added on the break of 41. We got a push a couple of times. That second time when we were watching Nick's chart, I added a few more up here. That's why this last contract is at 55. And then scaled out on this push down where I said, hey, this is kind of vulnerable to being shoved right back in my face. So just being disciplined and being aware that, hey, we've got a big rally from the lows. So counter trading, you have to be aware of that and have the discipline to do it. And then, just took out Nick's stop. That was part of the plan.
it's always the plan.
So yeah, just adding, that's kind of, a little bit of my process as far as, adding to positions is kind of waiting for something to happen, taking the break, that's a kind of a momentum type of add. There's another, where it's like you get into a position and wait for pullbacks, to add shorts. Not a great setup for that today because, pullbacks all the pullbacks in the market are getting bought, and so I don't want to reoffer a rally that was just bought. So on this case specifically, we got that little break added, and then just managed it as we covered. So we're up to 240 likes. Oh, 239. Man, you guys are. What, do you not like it if Nick says something wrong or what? Yeah, we did that VWAP right there.
The what?
The VWAP.
The WAP. Yeah, I got you.
The WAP. Oh, thanks, Jose, man. That means the world to me. I'm not really at the jokes that Shab likes to throw out there. I'm not really a streamer guy, boy. So I'm introverted. I hate getting on camera, to be honest. So it's a big step for me to be streaming with 400 people watching. I don't know how Nick and Stowe, I don't know how you guys do it.
I'm an introvert too. You ask like my friends, they're like, wait, you're doing what? So this was a step for me, but eventually, I mean, it just becomes me, like you're just hanging out trading with your friends. Which is always kind of how it's felt at times.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Wow, Leo, take a joke. Did I miss something, Norseman? What did Norseman say? 3:30. Norseman, what did you say that I missed? I must have missed something.
You're not reading the chat? The chat? What kind of streamer are you?
I know, terrible. I was trying to trade.
I know that's always the hardest too. It's like when you start rolling a little bit.
One of my left contact is totally dry. It's like half fuzzy and half clear.
Are you blind like I am?
Oh, dude, it's so bad.
I don't think trading has helped. I also haven't been in the eye doctor.
Do you know what your correction is on your contacts?
I don't anymore.
Mine's like 4.
I have an astigmatism too that my contacts do not correct. So
yeah, mine's 4.5, -4.5.
I'm not that bad, but I can't watch TV, sit, even wander my house without my glasses. It's like a little sketchy how blurry everything is.
Yeah. Oh, you both trade like newbies. Oh,
that's sweet.
That's kind.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, for real.
Trump has the Ohio State football team. Oh, they must be doing their White House visit.
Is that bullish or?
I don't know anymore. Good news is good news. Bad news is good news. Bad news is bad news. It just depends on the flavor of the market that morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like there's no interest in moving away from whatever range we're in right now.
I'm trying to do I have anything like level wise going back here? Like, is there a reason we're stuck right here?
Somebody in the chat, tell us why we're stuck here, please.
It's not the gamma.
It's not the gamma. Nick says it's not gamma.
No, like, are we close to like the September low or something?
I don't have anything on this chart, hard time frame. It's point of control. Yeah, we know it's point of control for the day. The market is stuck because I said so. Closing near point of control on Friday. Whatever. They're watching us. Oh yeah, our ball is low today.
Let's see. NQ is kind of at the, I know this is a little less relevant because of contract roll, but is basically just below the September low.
We are in a congestion zone. We know, we can see that.
I was just trying to figure out why, if there was something that made sense, but
Yeah.
until there's something new, I would imagine we're just kind of going to be stuck bouncing near the higher edge of the Liberation Day candle. That's my read, but who knows? Is Friday a half day? Right? It is, I think.
What's Friday?
Good Friday.
Oh, right.
I always feel like, isn't it a half day normally?
Somebody tell us.
In the chat. Does anyone know? Closed Good Friday. Okay. Not a half day.
Totally closed. Oh, great.
Things a trader should probably know going into their week, but
All right, I got
that one
stopped in that
completely.
runner.
I realized it was Easter like yesterday.
Got stopped on that runner.
I literally got stopped by 2 points and then it moved back up.
Well, chat, we have 263 likes. 37 more likes, and Nick for a tick gets to tell you some information.
Can we make another run
At
towards
the
that
IB?
high?
I want to see that 4%.
Just get
happen.
punched in the face.
Yeah.
Okay, but we never got clarification. Was that stat on NQ? Because that makes a lot more sense. 4%. ES seems like that seems very low for something stupid that could happen at any time.
Jim, if you've gotten up from your nap yet, let us know.
I would assume maybe that was an NQ stat, but I heard Nick bought NinjaTrader. You heard incorrect.
Damn, I didn't know you were that loaded.
Whoa.
I am that rich, apparently.
All right. Well, getting out of that short was the right idea.
And Nick, getting stopped out was your signal to join along for the end of day pump. Nick, your long is in profit. Yeah, it's unfortunately we use stops sometimes. That would have been great. Literally wicked me out 4 points, if that. Where would NQ go if ES actually makes a run towards IB high or gets stuffed by the
Pivot or
5
IB
minute mid, Leo?
Yeah. It's up there. 213. That's a ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's a ways. That's for sure. Of course, now they flip right here. Do you know what's really interesting? Is that these candles are painted as a reflection of what's happening on the tape.
Right.
Look at all of the back and forth activity.
Yeah, it looks like two algos just fighting each other, slapping each other in the face. No decision.
And it makes sense because we're up at this congestion area, point of control. This is where everybody's agreed to do business, And it's the end of the day, you know. Nobody wants to get frisky, clearly. So we're just chopping them muck. No, they're different from the free delta dominant candles. but those are also free and give you great information. They're just less advanced. The algos are nickel and diming the spreads, Fatfish says.
Makes perfect sense.
Do you know what disappoints me today the most?
I can only imagine.
My boy, streamer boy number 2, is not in the chat.
He's got to be baking bread or something.
No, I'm not talking about Stowe.
Oh, who are you talking about?
Nope. I'm talking about Kane. Kane's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Kane usually does tune in.
So we'll have to troll him in his chat.
Now it's
Wednesday, right?
Yeah, now we're gonna unleash
The over the pond streamer boy. That's right.
over the punch.
Okay, we have 277 guys and gals. 23 likes. 23. Kane's cutting his grass. Well, he should do it another time.
Kane
when
doesn't
we're on
cut
stream.
grass. I'm gonna make that assumption.
He does actually. He talked about it.
Does he
on his
really?
Stream. Yeah, he cuts his own grass.
Good for him. Better man than me.
I mean, he's young, Nick. He's young and single, I assume.
I mean, it'll take me hours, or I can pay a guy, and he's done in 30 minutes.
Kane's in the car making his streamer content. You can be old and also cut grass. We know, Stowe.
I know so, but you can also be lazy and not want to cut your own grass and still be old.
Do chopping around. I'm just waiting. Okay, we have 2 more likes. 2 more.
They're really gonna hit it.
Chat. Catfish said it wasn't going to happen, and we're 2 away. 1 more. One more.
Will it beat? Oh, it hit it.
There it goes.
There it goes.
They aped in. They went from 1
They
to
did.
7. All right, Nick.
What is the big announcement? How do we want to do this?
Do you want to do we have anything we could put on the screen?
I have no idea. So I've enjoyed spending time trading with you guys here, and we're going to be expanding that. If you have never caught me doing a prep on Sunday nights, you will get that very thing live here on NinjaTrader. I'm going to be doing a Sunday prep show where we're going to go over a number of different specific things for as far as the indices, commodities, and kind of come up with like a rough plan for the given week of how you guys may want to attack it. Look at some market generated information, look at things like volume profile to help guide kind of where we're trading. So think of it more of a zoomed out look going into your week. We'll talk about news, we'll talk about earnings, and anything else you guys want me to eventually cover. We can keep it open-ended, but that's kind of the plan for now. So that'll be coming back not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. After Easter Sunday. I feel like everyone's gonna be with family, so we're gonna do it in a few weeks. But you'll be able to join me for the Globex Open. We're gonna start a little bit earlier than the Sunday Open at 4:45 Central Time. So we'll get on. We'll talk a little bit before the orders hit the tape. So feel free to tune in, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's huge. And the applause. The applause.
And Leo's going to eventually join me, and you're going to see how the mastermind himself prepares for his week.
Did you just call me a mastermind? Wow.
Yeah, you use like OrderFlow and cran lines. So it's like some new thing that I've never seen before.
Oh, I got you.
We got to see how you actually draw the cran lines on the longer time frame charts.
Bullish on NinjaTrader. That's right, Firmament. Please cover the cereal futures untapped market.
There
as
isn't both
Leo the
figures?
Tiger. Actually, this is funny. This is hilarious. So, I have a Discord, obviously, and I changed my profile picture last week, and I got more people just like in utter shock that I was actually a human and a person, that I had to change my profile picture back to, what is this? Oh, the close. Oh, that's the 50.
That's MOC.
Okay. So I had to change my profile picture back to Leah, the Tiger cereal box guy. Because I think people were just, they don't accept the fact that I'm actually a person.
I didn't know
They're
you
like,
were
what
real.
is this?
I thought you were an avatar, to be honest.
Yeah, I could be.
Just some guy in a click farm that got X engagement over years and just had a name. We are melting down, Leo. You really paper handed that short, sir.
I know. I missed the chance to get back.
Oh, there
in
was a
it.
chance to get back in.
Yeah, right here. And I mean, reoffering from that high is really, that's a clear shot trade at that for sure. Wasn't paying attention. Love your 5-minute mid setup. Can you talk about it more when you have a moment? I will next time. So if you come on Wednesday, we'll cover the 5-minute mid trade.
Didn't you have a Twitter thread that broke it down?
I do. It is definitely very in detail. With a few of the stats that I shared. But definitely come back on Wednesday and we'll talk about it. It's one of my favorite setups, and it seems to be catching some, people like to trade it. Nice trade, AV. Nice trade. See the buyers come in right at that pop to 60s. Not that I took it or anything, but just kind of
Oh,
noteworthy.
yes, literally bounce to the tick
Right at
on.
week open.
Well, no, IB low.
Oh,
A little lower.
24-hour view up.
Yeah, basically all that week open, 24-hour,
all that stuff.
RTH and IB low right there. So you had a pretty decent long chance there, I guess.
So we announced the retirement of the podcast Painting the Tape. And I'm reconsidering that.
I
So
mean,
you guys have to let me know.
I think
Do you want to see a continuation of this podcast?
I vote yes.
Bring it back. It would just be a monthly episode, because what really we wanted to do is go into detail on the, like how we look at the markets and trade, and not talk about, nonsense. Not that other podcasts are nonsense, but it's just not in our wheelhouse to, talk about some of the other stuff that's out there.
Yes, more order flow tape reading content.
So potentially that might happen. Ask how many times, Leo, we've
How
taped
many
the
final episodes are there?
That tells you something. We've tried to record the final episode like 3 times, and we have not released any of them.
I mean, maybe that's a sign. You just got to keep going.
Just continue. Yeah. I think it would be cool to bring other people, not, I think it would be
Other
cool
styles
to maybe a little debate, a healthy debate. Have Merritt come on the podcast.
But then we're going to talk VWAP versus VWAP for 60 minutes, and that's not good content.
Yeah.
That's stream chat poll jokes. No, but it would be interesting for things like that. Like, because there's so many different ways to trade, perspectives, and similar ideas that are just called different things and read slightly different ways. So it could be, like you said, some interesting debates.
There's more news that potentially Stowe might bring.
More news from Stowe tonight.
Wow. You'll have to watch tomorrow. He'll be on.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna possibly have more news
Possibly.
from Stowe tomorrow, and it may or may not be how to perfect your sourdough starter. It's probably not that. Could be though.
He's not even doing sourdough, Nick.
I'm just making a bread joke, dude.
Well, Nick, you have to pay attention.
We got 5 minutes to
Throw
the
up your
close.
hands. Yeah, that's what you should do. Stowe got picked up by the New York Philharmonic.
So, I apologize, Stowe. It's regular yeast.
I'm really disappointed that I missed this trade.
I mean, you were on it.
Pretty much A plus. I mean, the stop out is fine. I think just missing the reentry is that was a mistake. Not trying to be like hindsighty here.
Yeah, I
But-
guess now looking at this, I mean that anchor, the leg to leg flipped up at that high.
Here,
Yeah, I mean there were really two entries there.
right? Oh well, you can't win them all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wow, it's been a quick hour and a half. And some cool news. More of Nick, less of
Word.
Leo.
No, more of Leo too. Leo's definitely gonna be forced to cut his Sunday short and hang out with me for an hour.
All right, we can do that.
It's an hour. It's an hour. We're gonna help people get prepped. We're gonna talk about the week ahead, and we'll have some guests on every once in a while. That's the goal.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because, you know, to be honest, like I've really never shared any type of a weekly plan. But maybe we can gain some perspective on how I look at it versus how you do it and things like that. That would be fun.
Mine's always been very simple. I feel like when you get too in the weeds and you try to prepare for everything, for me, it's more just like outline areas of interest, areas in volume profile that might make sense for potential longs, potential shorts, potential reoffers, like just information that the market seems to provide to you. Having a good understanding of kind of where those spots kind of are, so that you're not just like jumping in Monday morning at the New York Open, guns blazing, and just pressing buttons. Usually allows you to be a little more patient because you've kind of thought about it a little bit deeper, because you've taken at least a 50,000 foot view, at least on like a 30-minute chart for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
We'll do that
for sure. Yep. That sounds fun.
Good job, guys.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Thank you.
You know, instead of more cowbell, we have more order flow labs.
Yes.
We need more order flow labs.
That's right. That's what I think.
Oh man, I love it. Love it. Good job today.
Thank you.
This thing's still moving down, huh?
Yeah, man. Getting stopped out and not re-entering up there I'm gonna sleep on that one because I want to be the streamer boy and me wants to nail every trade, but I know that can't happen.
And sometimes you got to shake it off. See if we can get down to Jack's 3, 18,900. Can we do it? Not too far.
Hey, by the way, Destructo said have OFL trade the open. One time, Nick will be on next Monday, the 21st.
I will.
To trade the open. And maybe one day I'll get invited to do the same.
I mean, I think at that point you can't even hide the streamer thing anymore. If you're trading the open on NinjaTrader Live, I mean, Leo, you're a streamer. Congrats.
Hey,
So what
that's
are
the
you?
name of the show.
I don't know what I am anymore. I'm just
Huh.
a dude pressing buttons, man.
All right.
Leo, I know a guy. See what we could do.
You know a guy? Okay.
Yeah.
Jim knows a guy.
I think it would be pretty wild to have all of us on at the same time. Maybe that's a terrible.
We should do it. Yeah.
But the four or five of us be a lot of fun. A little chaotic probably, but I think we could do it.
Yeah.
We are closed. Well, you guys did a great job. We always want more OrderFlow labs. You know, I had almost a run-in with Stowe over the weekend.
Like a physical run?
Yeah.
Really?
I went to Sunday. I went to the farmer's market, and there's a booth. You know, there's a series of booths, right? And there's one booth where this dude was selling bread, homemade bread, and the guy looked exactly like Stowe. And for a second, now I had a couple Bloody Marys before I got there, so let's keep this in perspective. But I was making eye contact, and then he eventually made eye contact back to me, and clearly he was uncomfortable doing that. So I came
That
to
sounds
the
like a Stowe
conclusion
thing.
it might not. Well, it might not be Stowe. It wasn't probably, but man, looked just like him. Crazy.
That's hilarious.
Oh man. In any event, so great job, you guys. Looking forward to you guys coming back, seeing more OrderFlow labs. In the meantime, we're going to just go ahead and check out just two charts really quickly, and we're going to wish everybody a good night. So I'm going to grab the screen from you guys if I can. There we go. All right. Appreciate you, Mission Control. So just going back to that E-mini S&P, I just wanted to clarify my stat on the gap. So the stat was 3.85% that we would have a candle close above the initial balance. But then I reran the stats for a wick, and it was only 11.67. We didn't get there, but that was the stat. I like to look at the candle close just to kind of keep that in perspective. We missed filling the gap at the bottom, as I already said, by like 4 ticks. And you know, a lot of green on the board. U.S. dollars red across the board. Little tiny, nudging up on the energies, except for nat gas. We have gold is down, silver's up. I'm going to show you the silver chart. Palladium, which we covered earlier, was shy. Platinum, and copper's all green, and the treasuries are all green. We ended up with a 10-year yield at about 4.372. So we're getting close to that 4.2 sweet spot on the 10-year yield. But let me just pop up a silver chart, and I'm going to leave you with this thought of the day. We have, and I had to do some extensive research and go through my library and scour the internet and double check with ChatGPT, but we have a potential hanging man candle today on a daily chart, and it's at the top of an uptrend. And believe it or not, this is a potential bearish reversal pattern. So I explained it a little bit on the tweet a couple minutes ago. And not only that, we're right at that 61.8% retracement and two key exponential moving averages, namely the 21 and the 50. So we'll see if we have continuation buying tomorrow in silver. If not, we could be reversing on the downside. Having said all that, folks, thanks everybody for being here with us at NinjaTrader Live. We had a great day. Happy Monday, everybody. I know you're supposed to say happy Friday, but happy Monday, everybody. Look forward to seeing you bright and early tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. East Coast time. Until then, folks, remember, most important message of the day, please be safe out there and be good to each other. See you soon.